Hey guys, this video will be showing my top 3 recommendations for this month in no particular order, so hopefully I can convince you to add one of these new series to your collection. I'm going to start off with my favorite manga read this month, which is called My Lesbian Experience with Loneliness. This manga is a slice of life that is only 1 volume long. Since this is a story about the author's life, there are sequels to the story. There's My Solo Exchange Diary at 2 volumes, and the newest volume, a story about me trying to escape the reality just to be worn out, which is going to be released in April 2021. So there are sequels, but My Lesbian Experience with Loneliness can definitely be enjoyed as a single volume, as the story begins and ends within this one book. But if you find yourself really liking this series, there's much more to discover. This is a self-written story about the author's life as a 28-year-old contacting a lesbian escort service for the first time. New to sexual experiences at the age of 28, this event becomes an important moment in her life. That's the main hook of the story, but that plot point doesn't really come until much later in the story. The bulk of the story is the author depicting her life after dropping out of college and trying to find a purpose in the world. She deals with depression and social anxiety. It's difficult for her to live in a way that she believes her parents would be proud of. I really love this series for how real and relatable it was. The author really does a good job of showing the difficulty in her life due to her mental illnesses, and by blending a unique style of comedy, this manga will make you laugh and will make you cry. The artwork is simple and works very well for the story that it's being told, and overall, My Lesbian Experience with Loneliness is one of my top recommendations this month. My second recommendation is another slice of life called Blank Canvas, My So-Called Artist Journey. This is another story about the author's life written with her new perspective as a 36-year-old accomplished manga author. You might know her from one of her series called Princess Jellyfish, which got an anime adaptation. The author retells her life starting when she was in high school, dreaming of becoming a manga artist, so she went to an art class every day to learn classical art even though she wanted to draw manga. The art teacher becomes one of the most influential people in her life, and his outrageous behavior and actions is definitely the highlight of the manga. I mean, this man is not afraid to put his art students in a chokehold and makes high school girls cry over making mistakes on their paintings. He's ruthless, but he has an extreme passion for art and will stop at nothing to make sure his students become the best at it. Our author does not want to create classical art like her sensei, but is too afraid to tell people about her passion for manga making. To me, this manga is about the expectations people set on you while you can never reach their expectations because your interests lie elsewhere. This manga is about how few people on this huge planet can deeply affect your life and affect how it can turn out. It's a story about self-discovery, of love and loss. It's a story that I recommend for anyone who's interested in a slice of life manga about a successful manga artist. The last series I'm going to recommend is actually going to be a light novel called Soma Spider, So What? For those of you that don't know, a light novel is a book that is targeted to be read by a younger audience, so reading is much easier than a traditional novel. If you like manga and have never read a light novel, I would suggest this one to be your first to give it a try. Soma Spider, So What? Is about a high school girl who gets reborn as a spider in another world and must fight to survive in her new environment. A series I would compare this to is Solo Leveling, where the main character is extremely weak in the beginning and slowly fights to gain experience to level up. The story has a game-like system in it where the main character gains abilities and skills based on her level, and she can also evolve once she reaches a certain point. I've only read the first 4 novels and it was really fun to read. What I really liked about it is that the main character wins her battles not because she's super strong, but it's because she's so weak that she has to fight enemies only when she's able to outsmart them and get the upper hand. There's a slow and realistic growth for her as she levels up in the new world. The first 3 novels is one arc that focuses mainly on the battles and leveling system, so if you like action, this is a perfect start. There is also a manga version of this, where the first 8 volumes of the manga covers about the first 3 light novels. There's a huge difference between the manga and the light novel because the manga completely takes out the side stories in the light novel, and these tell another perspective from the other high school classmates who have also been reborn in the world. These side stories are a little uninteresting at first in the light novel, but they become more and more important as the main story progresses and you get to understand the entire world and the larger plot that the author is trying to create with the multiple stories. But if you're not interested in reading light novels and you would prefer manga, I would say just get the first 8 volumes of the manga. This will cover the first 3 volumes of the light novels and they're much more action-packed. But if you want to understand the entire overarching plot, definitely read the light novels as they tell a really fun story about a weak spider trying to become really strong. And that's it for this video. I hope you add one of these new series to your collection, and I have my December manga haul video coming in about a week, so make sure you subscribe so you can see that. That's it for this video. Peace.